Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well and taking care of yourself. Most importantly, I hope you're spending this time to reflect and refocus because, yes, after all this is over, we shall get back to our busy schedules and we know what that looks like. You wake up in the morning, get ready, prepare the kids for school, drop them off at school. After you drop them off, stop at the grocery store, pick up some groceries, then get home, cook, clean, wash, iron, and start getting ready to go out again to pick them up from school. But before you get to school, you stop around and do a few errands, post office runs, pharmacy, council office, a few bills here and there, and then you get them at school. From school, you head off to their after school activities, soccer games, tennis, swimming, dance class, music class, all those classes. After you finish with those classes, you get home. It's either time for homework or maybe dinner time for some. And then you continue with the homework. Either way, you get ready for bedtime. Have a few moments with them before you prepare them for bedtime. And the day is gone. So if you look at it, it's a whole day's work. It's like a 9 to 5 on its own. Yes. So, and you're wondering, but I have to do these things, right? That's my own contribution to my family. You're right, that's your contribution to your family. But I want you to understand that we are in 2020, Mama. We are in 2020. So there will come a time when those kids are much older, a bit more independent, and they will not need you, that much. And so it's time for you to start sowing some seeds in preparation for that day when you start stepping back and they would start flying forward. Otherwise, you ask yourself, what next? But before then, let me applaud you for winning the trophy of best mommy. Yes, best mommy. I give it to you. You've given them your time, your love, your energy, your prayers, and by God's grace, they are doing well and you're proud of yourself. But I want you to know this, and it's very important. It is as important as all those things we have just mentioned. And that is not being a financial burden to them in your old age. That's not loving them, okay? Or let me put it this way, that's not loving them enough. So you need to use your time now, your energy now, and take advantage of the resources you have available to you. But I know you're going to say, but how will I do this? I have to do these things. That's what it is. I cannot, at this point in time, I cannot afford to either delegate it or do otherwise. Yes. So before I give you my tips, and these are tips that I have tried, I've experienced, I've lived this life, I know what it is. But before I get to the tips, this is what I want you to know. You're doing an excellent job. You're doing a very wonderful job. In fact, the peace of mind and security that you give to your kids and your partner is priceless. I will start with that one. That one has no price tag because every other thing I'm going to list now, you're going to see that there's a price tag to it. Okay? Getting your kids ready for school in the mornings is something any parent should do. Male, female, father, mother, we should all be doing that. Prepare our kids for school. But dropping them at school, guess what? It's a paid service. All right? There's a transport service out there. There is a school bus service out there. There is a taxi service out there offering their services in exchange for money to families who cannot do it in the mornings or maybe after school. So if you're doing it, it's a paid service. Okay? Packing lunch for your kids, for those who pack lunch, is also a paid service because for those who don't even pack, guess what? They are paying someone else to give them warm or cooked lunches in school. So that's a paid service as well. All right? Those are caterers or whatever you call them. Now, stopping at the grocery store, picking up groceries for yourself and cooking for yourself, it's what any adult, a responsible adult, should be able to do that. Okay? So that's not a problem. However, when you cook for yourself and others, it's a paid service. Yes, you have caterers, you have restaurants, you have takeaways that cook food and the public buys the food. So they're offering a service in exchange for compensation. So that's a paid service when you cook for your family every single day and provide them warm, delicious meal. It's a paid service. Yes. Cleaning, when you go home and clean, tidy up the house and pack things, organize things, it's a paid service. You have professional organizers out there. You have janitors. You have cleaning companies that clean people's private homes. When I talk about offices or corporations, no, there are people who can afford it and prefer the convenience and comfort that comes with having someone clean their home for them. So that's a paid service. Someone's doing that, has a business and making money from it. But you are doing it, out of love and out of moral your moral duty to do it. Okay? That's a paid service. Washing and ironing of clothes. It's a paid service. Have you ever heard of the word dry cleaners? In French, we call them pressing. Dry cleaners, yes. They wash clothes. They iron it for you. And there are people out there who, your partners work clothes, work shirts and trousers and suits. Some people, all their clothes are taken care of by a dry cleaner. So if you're helping your partner do it at home, and even your kids' clothes, even towels and sheets, yes, there are people who prefer to outsource things like that. Towels and sheets. Now, don't call them lazy. They just want their comfort, and maybe their time. They cherish their time and their comfort. Okay, that convenience is what they're paying for. All right, so that's a paid service. Picking up kids from school, I've mentioned that's a transport service, but I didn't add this one. Nannies, au pairs, yes, they pick up kids from school and take them to after school activities. It's a paid service. Some schools offer after school care programs and your parents pay for it, so it's a paid service. Helping your kids with homework at home. Now, normally we should be able to do that, okay, but there are people who tutor kids for a living. They're called tutors. Yes, because there are some parents who are so busy. Yes, they come back home after work maybe at 9 o'clock, 10. Don't say I said it. Some people come back at 10. And they're from the office. Yes, they're from the office. Well, I don't know the kind of work they're doing at the office, but they come back at 10. Now, if you come back at 10, of course you can't do your child's homework, right? It goes without saying. So you're going to pay someone to do homework for your child. And that's a tutor. Right? So you're going to hire a babysitter or an au pair who will take the child from school, then after school activities, then go to the tutor. Have you heard of Kumon? They provide math lessons for children after school and even on weekends. That's tutoring. And it's a business. Yes, so it's a paid service you're doing. Now, coming home and providing your kids with breakfast and spending downtime with them after a long day is what any reasonable, responsible parent should be able to find time to do. So that's not a problem. And I forgot to mention this. All these services, most of the time, if not all of them, will always have an insurance fee added to their pricing. You may not know it, but that's what happens because they all have to take up an insurance policy in case of any problem with your child. But no one is paying you anything additional for that security and peace of mind. That's why I said at the beginning that the security and peace of mind that you give your partner is priceless. There is no price to it. Your partner knows the kids are taken care of. The partner is attending all those meetings and has no worry. They're fine. Whereas if probably they were at this different people, maybe even a nanny, they will have to call and check and just to make sure. They'll be juggling all of these things, work and managing from a distance what's going on with their children. But with you, they don't have to worry. Okay, so that tells you that you are doing something really valuable, very valuable, and I applaud you for that. You should be proud of yourself, and no one should make you feel like you are useless because your contribution to the family is not financial. Okay, it can be monetized. Yes, it can be monetized. So yes, let's get on now with the tips I have on how to squeeze time intentionally for yourself. And I want to be very clear. When the kids are young, sometimes you don't want to do too many things. However, you want to squeeze time for your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. well-being. If you cannot add anything else at that particular time at that particular season, at least take care of your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, because all of this can be draining when you don't have a partner who appreciates your efforts. And that's where I come in, because I know that people out there who are in relationships where there is this imbalance. So how do we do it? One, meal planning. Meal planning and even meal prepping if you can. But if you can't, let's start with meal planning. Meal planning means intentionally writing down what you're going to eat, probably for the week. Some people are expert at it. They do it for an entire month. Okay. Now, when you sit down to actually plan your meals, it makes you think about what you really want to eat, how you're going to manage your time, because here we're trying to squeeze time. We don't want to spend 4 hours every day in the kitchen, 3 hours, 2 hours. No, we want things that, some days we'll have time for those long exotic meals, and other days we just want something quick, or we'll be able to use maybe the leftovers from the previous day to make something quick. You can only do this if you meal plan and you actually put different meals for different days. Keep it simple. Make sure you keep it simple. Because you're at home doesn't mean your family must have exotic breakfast, warm cooked breakfast every morning. No, it's not necessary. All right, just keep it simple and healthy, of course. Yes, we're not putting away the healthy side of it. Simple yet healthy. All right, and then how do you keep it simple? Be very clear on which meal is your main meal. All right, you'll probably have just 2 main meals. Most often you need to have a good breakfast and then 1 main meal during the day. If your kids have lunch in school, you could decide to have simple lunches, then they come home and have a good dinner. If you want them to have a good lunch and then they come home and have a simple dinner, it's up to you. But like I said, with meal planning, that is going to be possible because you're going to actually see what you're doing. That will now help you to save time and not go to the supermarket every other day. I use the word every other day because yes, I know that you're going to say, but I don't go to the supermarket every day. Yes, even every other day is still a lot. You can decide now to go to the supermarket maybe 3 times a week. You can even decide to order your groceries. Yes, with the technology we have now, you can also do that. So that will help you in that area. It will also help you prep. Now, by prepping, I don't mean you're going to cook for the whole week. No, but you're just going to pack your things when you go to the supermarket, and when you're packing them in the fridge, on how you can easily just take out what you need for that particular meal and cook it, and not spend a lot of time doing that. So that's one tip: meal prep. And if you can add meal planning, and if you can add meal prep, the better. That will save you time from going to the supermarket every other day. Second thing I'm going to say is scheduling your house chores. Yes, schedule those house chores. You don't need to clean your house Monday through Friday or even Monday to Sunday. It's not necessary. All right, because you're home does not mean the house must be sparkling. I should be able to see my face on your floor. No. Schedule your house chores, and then do it in such a way that you can group the chores. So maybe when you're doing cleaning, you're also putting clothes in the washing machine at the same time, or you're also doing some other thing. You can just group them together so that you don't get to be too busy every day. Because guess what? The intention here is to block some time for your own rest, for your own, to recharge. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're intentionally trying to block some time. It could be half a day, it could be every other day, just block some time. The third one is give yourself a day off, an entire day off. If you cannot get the entire weekend, I would suggest actually giving yourself the weekend. Try not to push everything to the weekends. No. I know that after some extracurricular activities that can only be done over the weekend, but if you can, try to put most of your activities Monday through Friday. After all, your partner goes to work Monday through Friday, right? And then they have the weekend off. So give yourself the weekend off too. Okay, if you can't, at least give yourself 1 day on the weekend off where it's just you. No, which means that you probably have to give yourself a day when you eat leftovers, because on that day you just heat up some leftovers. You don't need to cook afresh. You just heat up some leftovers. Okay, or you do it takeout. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So that's another tip. The third one. A fourth one is after school activities. reevaluate those activities. Must they do, I don't know, 3-4 things at the same time? Some things can be done over the holidays. Others, yes, need time to, you can do them during school time, but you can put some things over the holidays. Summer holidays is long, 2 months, or people even have 3 months. Put those activities during the summer holidays and put a few during the school term. Okay, the idea is reevaluate what you're doing. They must not do everything at the same time, so that you don't get to be running back and forth every day. There is one thing, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there is something after school. And then if you can afford it, this is something you have to discuss with your partner. Maybe they can stay in school a bit longer, register them for the after school program one day or 2 days a week. Now I know that will bring the subject of money up, but if you can talk about it, okay, yes, so that you have those days where okay, this particular day I will get this done. Like I mentioned earlier, grouping your activities, your chores, those days where if the child stays at school a little bit longer will be the days where you would actually get a lot done. Okay, and then you can even squeeze in some time for yourself if you can. All right. Another thing I would say is just be intentional about it. Okay. Another thing I would say is homework. Now this is going to be helpful for those who have to maybe find a new school. Be very careful those schools that have so much homework. Yeah, I know this is going to be controversial, but the kids need homework. Yes. But when you have more than 2 children, 2-3 kids, and you have to juggle homework, it takes up a lot of time. Yeah, it takes up a lot of time. And I have the feel, out of experience, I know that homework is meant to help your child progress in their academic learning. It should not be another after school. You've not become the teacher after school. No, that's not the essence of homework. So try to look for schools where, ask the schools their curriculum, the teacher-student ratio, their homework policy. I have lived in France where homework is not obligatory, and they'll tell you homework is there to help the child if the child needs extra support. By law, they have a specific amount of time that children should spend on homework per week, per class level, so secondary school, this is primary school I'm talking about, and even secondary school, they have a specific amount of time. So a good school should be able to help your child. If your child has particular learning difficulties, that is a whole nother subject. Then the child needs extra help. But without which, please be careful of those international schools, private schools, all those so-called good schools that just load your kids with so much homework. Yeah, be very careful of those schools. Or you can even ask your teacher if they must actually do all of these things. Maybe some teachers will tell you, okay, just do this, and then if you can't get to this, that's fine. So discuss these things with your child's teacher. Okay, so these are my tips on how to save time. Remember, meal planning, if you can add meal prepping to it, fine. Schedule your chores, don't do everything every day. Reevaluate after school activities. Give yourself the weekend. You're entitled to it. Give yourself the weekend. All right, and then discuss your teacher about the homework policy, your child's teacher about the homework policy in the school. Must they do everything, or can they like keep certain things? And then even over like I said, don't even do things over the weekend. But that you get the point. The point is, mama, squeeze some time for yourself. Give yourself a morning off or an afternoon off or even a day off to do things that you cherish, things that you love, things that just recharge you. You need it. Let's start from there, and eventually we shall talk about how you can now add professional development to the mix. If you love this video, please subscribe to my channel, share it among your friends, because somebody might need this information. Okay, those who live overseas can really relate to this. I don't know what it looks like to be a stay-at-home mom in Africa, but those who live overseas can relate to this schedule. They know what I'm talking about. And yes, the tips can also be helpful to people living in other parts of the world. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye.